When the rumors about Lisa come up at dinner, Meredith denies starting them.
I feel like she's taking 100% accountability.
Heather, you have told Jen, Lisa has told John, who has told Seth that I started these rumors, which did not happen.
Meredith can put it on me all she wants, but Meredith needs to sit in her and own the fact that she had a vendetta and she had a strategy and a plan to take down Lisa.
All I did was acknowledge that rumors existed on certain general subject matters.
I heard that she was, doing favors to help get places to pick up Vita tequila.
Whitney went into a multitude of stories in gross detail for, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes.
I have a friend, and I've heard that she slept with him to sway him to invest in her businesses.
I listened to story after story. I expressed doubt on her stories.
It sounds absurd to me.
And then somehow, I'm the one who said these stories.
Whitney did not like me last year. Whitney was not gonna be like, ooh, don't tell me what you think or you know about Lisa. Whitney's not saying you started the rumor about the jazz tickets, but she's saying you did say other things.
Affairs, cheating, whatever you want to call it, sleeping with people, yet those rumors are flying about her.
And whether you're intimating, insinuating, or flat out saying it, you're saying it. I've had conversations with Meredith where she does that to me. Meredith will want me to say something, but she's the one that came to me to talk about it. For example, Mary Cosby. I made it very clear to Meredith at my Kids Fresh Wolf event last year that I keep Mary and Cameron separate for a reason, out of respect for both of them. There's a reason Mary's not here tonight. I keep them separate out of respect for Mary and Cameron. I believe he's experienced real trauma. But she was the one that wanted more information. And then when we get to Vail, she's like, well, tell me what you know.
I need answers. Give me a concrete example of something.
He mortgaged his house and gave her 300 grand. So, I understand what Meredith does with Whitney, which is why I can back Whitney. And even watching Meredith in her confessional say, I've heard they're not even happy.
What I hear from others, if everything I'm hearing is actually true, her life is not so great.
Who are you hearing this from? Who am I confiding in? Nobody, because it's not true. You're making it up. And when I was asked, did you make up that rumor about Meredith? I answered no, because I didn't make it up. But what I did hear from Jen over and over again, your best friend that cheats or has affairs, one of the two.
Ask your 10 other boyfriends. Bye.
Your 10 boyfriends in 10 different lives. So it's like the difference of did I make that up? No, I repeated something in a stupid hyperbolic way.
Hate her, she's a whore, she's half of New York.
That I don't even believe about Meredith. I do not believe Meredith half of New York or half the Upper East Side or even a tenth of it. But you're going around trying to hurt me tit for tat and then blame Whitney for it? It's like a bad game of chess, or checkers, actually, because it's really sophomoric.
And so one of the things that Whitney keeps saying is that you don't hear her out, you don't listen to her.
Rumors, if I hadn't talked to you, which is exactly what Meredith is saying.
You're deflecting and you're getting louder than me and pointing your finger at my face.
Do you feel like you don't listen to Whitney and you don't hear her out?
Clearly that's how she feels, so I must be doing that. And
well, can I interject? Sorry.
Yes, please.
I need
I'm
to
drowning
interject
here.
Because here's the thing. Whitney 100% is entitled to her feelings, but perhaps part of the problem is a lack of communication because Heather didn't know they were on a friendship break.
If Heather can't validate my feelings and hear me, then I probably have to take a friendship break.
And to me, that is the most unusual part of this whole thing. Not that I've heard of a lot of friendship breaks. Like I said, I've never heard that.
What are we supposed to do? Other men? I don't understand. What are we doing on this friendship break? Are we supposed to just go invite other ladies to lunch and just have a hall pass? What?
No, but if you're looking for growth and development in the relationship and you're taking a break, wouldn't it be wise to let the other party know that? Just maybe Whitney's perception of her own communication is a little bit off too.
It just felt like it was just what?
I have been what feels like on a loop. with Heather. There has been a disconnect. There has been space that we haven't had before.
See, that makes me feel confused, actually, because you had a dance routine. Like, that's someone that loves me, that doesn't feel distance, that is my friend.
I'm just telling you how I feel. I came to you to say, I don't want this
don't
awkward
go
space
along
anymore.
to get along. Don't
That's
go along
what
to get
I
along,
did
and the
other
awkward
night.
space is gone. Okay, great, it's gone.
And I hate to use it in this terms because I unfortunately lost my grandma to dementia, but it was like having conversations with her in her last days where it was like the same conversation over and over where I would say everything and then Heather would be like, no, tell me how you feel. And I'm like, I just told you. We just fought about it for 20 minutes and now you're going to ask the same question.
I'm being silent as a mouse, so let's hear it. Like, give it all right now. Now you don't want the opportunity?
No, because it's
now's not the right time, so now I should talk over you.
You're still doing it right now,
Then
Heather.
speak and say what you want to say.
I have. My personal peace and my mental wellness is more important to me than trying to break this loop with Heather. And in that moment, it made me just feel like, okay, like nothing's changing on her end. I've got to get off of this toxic cycle with her.
It was hard for me to see that, knowing that they're family, knowing that they're very close, and it was just crumbling before my eyes.
Whitney was sitting across from me, and her eyes had tears in them.
Are you okay?
No, I'm not okay. And I think you really stood up for me at that table and you just told me, like, it's gonna be okay. Like, I see you, I hear you. I remember you said that to me. You said, I see you and I hear you and it's gonna be okay. You're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
A big learning this year for me was you don't understand how toxic something is until you have fresh air. I'm so sick of people getting mad at me when I bring like my past trauma into it, but I literally went to the Mormon church and said, this is happening to me. And they dismissed me.
Wow.
And I was never heard. So that's why I had tears in my eyes, because it was that same feeling of when I went to the church to get help and say something was happening to me and they asked me to pray for my abuser. And for Heather to like understand what it's like growing up in our culture, especially Utah Mormons are different. And not every Mormon's like this, but this was my experience. It triggers that feeling of she's oppressing me. And I just don't think that she likes that I found my voice and my bearings. And I realized that Heather is a toxic relationship for me. And I didn't understand until I got the breath of fresh air and have women who check on me, who we spend time talking about our children, getting our families together. Like, I didn't realize that, like, it was so bad for me.
I'm sorry, I think there was just a weird noise.
It's gone. It was like in the vents.
It's just Heather's energy coming through. She's like, stop telling
Talking
the
about
truth.
me.
Whitney, you hosted a Marilyn Monroe-themed dinner for your second to last night in San Diego.
Oh, Marilyn!
Get your Marilyn ass in here.
Someone told me one time that they felt like I was Marilyn Monroe incarnated. And it just
it.
stuck with me.
I could see it.
Because I've always been a huge fan of Marilyn Monroe. And what better way to fight than all looking the same? He's still doing it right now,
Then
Heather.
speak and say what you want to say.
I have.
I think Marilyn's iconic, but I don't want to look like her. I love my own style. I don't love Marilyn's. I look better as a brunette. It's a 4N. I stay this color all the time. I have 2 other colors mixed in to make sure I have the perfect shade of brunette at all times. I do my hair every 10 days, so it's always perfect and shiny. The fact that I have to wear this ugly blonde wig is like not only horrible, but the fact that I have to wear it in public to dinner after I'm starving and really just want to sit down to a nice meal and eat is like killing me. Marilyn's hot. I just don't want to look like her. Okay.
I looked crazy, Chris.
You looked beautiful.
You did look beautiful.
Did someone say you look like George Washington?
I look like George Washington.
That was me.
It felt a little forced. Side note, after she sent the invite, she sent us all the MP3 for Elton John's Candle in the Wind, which was Goodbye, Norma Jean, you know, about Marilyn Monroe. I apparently was the only one that understood the reference. Everyone else thought it was a butt dial. They didn't understand that Marilyn Monroe was Norma Jean. They thought it was about Princess Diana. I was planning on wearing one of those inflatable costumes because I wanted to dress up literally as the candle in the wind. I didn't want to do the Marilyn Monroe thing. I mean, That's a stretch. I wanted to put on the inflatable Lumiere and be a candle in the wind.
So you read way deeper into that than I did. I took it at face value. I was like, wow, I get to put on a blonde wig and red lipstick. I mean.
Well, I guess nobody's ever called you a drag queen before. That's privilege. Okay? That's privilege. I get to dress as Marylin. Well, I have to just take on trolls for about 6 months, but no big deal.
So after a stressful dinner that night, you ladies go dancing, get pizza.
We flash everybody that'll look. I felt like the night was a wash, but we were gonna just still try to turn up and drink ourselves into oblivion and just have fun. You know, that's what Marylin would have wanted.
Why did we even go to dinner? We should have just started at the gay bar.
We didn't even eat our dinner.
No.
I thought we had a great time. We went out, we danced a little bit.
Whitney's trying to teach me how to twerk, which is like mission impossible.
Whitney decides to do a handstand on a
Well,
wall.
I can twerk better
a
upside
twerk,
down.
but it was a fake wall. It wasn't even a real wall. And then it was like falling over.
I just felt like it was what we all needed. I loved being in the van on the way home. These girls are crazy. I'm not gonna go topless, but I'll eat pizza with you.
The last thing I remember was Jen and Heather against the window.
And all you see is tits.
Yeah, that. And I, was
I mean,
like,
imagine tits against window pressed really hard.
yeah, not flattering.
Yeah,
hard.
Looked like a mammogram, huh?
Yeah, it did. It did.
Dana helped me fix a nail. Like, thank God she's an expert. We all went to bed. Probably 45 minutes of me being in bed, Jen suffocated me with her boobs. And I mean, like literally, like I was like, I can't breathe. Like I wake up and Jen's like on top of me, like I'm suffocating.
Meredith was still dressed and Heather and Jen were in their panties and just dancing around. And so I said, I'm going to bed. I did take a photo of them from the top of the and they were posing for it, they knew. I did go in my room. 5 minutes later, here they are. They're in my room. So then Heather and I, our rooms were back to back. So I went in there and they're just like, Heather's room, first of all, is like a tornado. Oh my God. Like there's shoes everywhere. There's extensions in the sink. I mean, it looked like a little college dorm. And you know, they were dancing around. She had a towel and she was dancing around naked. And they were having fun. And so I go back in my room to go to bed, but there was no lock on my door. So they came in, they were kind of jumping on my bed. And I finally got rid of them at like 4 a.m. And I went to sleep, and like 30 minutes later, I hear my door slowly slide open. And then I go, what are you bitches doing? Because I thought they were gonna come in and wake me, but then it just closed quietly.
Normally, I love to be a part of the show, and that's the fun part, but I was just emotionally, mentally drained. You're still doing it right now, Heather!
Speak and say what you wanna say!
I have! It turned to fun, it really did. Meredith was having fun, Andrew's having fun, Lisa's having fun.
For a few minutes.
For a few minutes, but I'm so grateful, hindsight, waking up the next morning that I decided to go to bed and lock my door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heather, I know it's hard to talk about, but we need to know what happened after everyone went to sleep.